1983 Corvette. Getting ready to show you a cheap and not very hard fix for the sports seats lumbar airbag problem. I found they're pretty easy to fix, and got some stuff off Amazon to do it. It works pretty good. So we'll be doing that today on the 1983 Corvette. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how easy it is to get to these parts on this Corvette. A lot of the internet says you got to take the seat out and all that stuff. Well, you don't have to take the seat out. At least not been my experience. I already fixed the passenger seat. So today I'm going to do the driver's seat. And I'm going to try to show you how easy it actually is. I don't know how good my filming will be, but how actually easy it is to get to your components of your airbags on your seat. Now, the first thing you do is you find this little clip on the bottom. I'm doing the bottom first just because it's easier. Look at that. Now she just lifts up, and out comes the seat cushion. Nothing to it. I just lay it up out of the way. And here's your pump for your air pressure pump for your seat cushions. Now, if you look real close, these are already snapped off going up here to the airbag. So this one will require a little more attention, it looks like, than the other side did. But we'll get to that. The cushion on the other side was completely deteriorated. I mean, and you can see the deterioration. You can see, if you're looking, you see all these little flakes? That's from the airbag. It's made out of something that looks like vinyl bags that they use for IVs. And it just deteriorates, ends up looking like cereal or cornflakes. So anyway, we're gonna start with the air pump because I'm gonna put a new diaphragm in here real quick. And that's pretty easy to do. And then I will take the back off and put the airbags in there, and then I'll fix these guys. These aren't too bad to fix, actually. That looks complicated, but you can actually take this apart, just stick the hoses right on there. So that ain't no big deal. Alrighty? Okay, so I hope there's enough light in here. I think there is. Okay, so the first repair we're gonna do is the diaphragm in the pump. Now, let me see. Make sure my pump still works here. Yeah, it still runs, but it's not. It's the other side was deteriorated. The diaphragm was blown out. This is what is left from the diaphragm on the other side, right there, and that was on the passenger seat. So we're going to. Oh, my gas exhaust fan kicked off, but that's okay. You can probably hear me better. Okay, so you know, on the other side, I took the whole pump out, thinking, oh, I got to take it all apart and all that stuff. Well, come to find out, after I got the whole pump out, all I got to do is remove these two screws right here on the end. And so I'm going to take those out, and you can get those pretty easy with just a regular little Phillips. And I'm going to do that because it's going to be hard for me to do with holding the camera. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so the two little screws are out, and that just pops this cover off. Now, if you look in there, you can see some debris. And then this little guy is your pump. And then there's your motor. And if you reach around there and hit the switch, the motor works fine. And what happens on these is that diaphragm in there rots away. Now this one actually is not rotted away, but it's probably not far from it because it's original too. So I'm going to go ahead and do the repair that I did on the other side so I don't have to worry about it later. And you just take them 4 little screws out. You can, if you're real gentle, you can pull these lines off of here. Just get a little pocket screwdriver under there and just work them. Be real gentle so you don't break that. And you pull that apart, and we'll do that on the bench so that I'm not leaning in the car doing that. So here is the little pump diaphragm for the vacuum pump for my sport seat airbag system. This is all you really need to fix these airbags up in pretty good shape. So I got a little placemat here, so I'm just going to do this right here on top of the car because that's, you know, doesn't really need a lot here. I'm just going to remove these 4 screws, and I'll be right back because, like I said, I don't like holding the camera while I'm doing that. You just unscrew them, this pops apart, and you take the little diaphragm out and you replace it with a little piece of this nice silicone placemat that you can get on Amazon. It's a little thicker than the original, and it's silicone, so it should hold up really good. And it works just fine. I did the seat on the other side of the car. Anyway, so we got the pump apart. This is what your pump looks like. No big deal. And this diaphragm's not rotted out, but I'm going to replace it so I don't have to do it later. And you just put this little guy right where this little guy is. You just take the screw out, push it through the middle, center it up, put it back together. Works great. Okay, so, oh, and if you need glasses, put them on. Okay, so the diaphragm's in the pump, working fine. And this is a little tricky. I don't know if you can see me putting this back together. The tricky part is getting this. You can get it in with the pump in the vehicle. You just have to line these two up. And I'm not going to be able to do this and show you, but when you slide her back in there, this deflects a little bit, but it ain't too bad. You just got to line that pin back up with your pump and then put it back in. Okay, diaphragm's back in. And then if you want to, you can reach over there and hit your button and make sure that the little guy works. And if you want to, you can hold your finger over this and just feel the air. Works just fine. And it's not like a lot of air, but it's all we need. Yeah, hang on. Okay, so we got the motor back in. I got the lines hooked back up. These are a little broke off, but you're only going to use 2 lines when you're done, so I'm going to deal with that in a minute. And right now, you want to hold this for me? I want to show you how easy it is to get the back seat out, the back rest back here. So this little guy back here, yeah, it's recording. This little guy just has a couple clips, so you just have to grab your. It's dark in there. Yeah, but that comes unclipped. Then you give it a little tug, and that comes unclipped. And it gets a little sticky because of it's been in there so long. There's the clips. And then there's 2. One. Can you see those? Hang on. There's 2 clips that hold that whole seat in there. You gotta be patient. Yeah, no, it's not a big deal. You just gotta get your fingers in there sometimes. You gotta use a screwdriver just to get under it. I'm not sure it's bright. Yeah. I won't use all of it. I'm just trying to get pretty bright. Yeah, the camera does pretty good. There we go. Gotta get your fingers in here so you can pull that clip. Now these clips, you gotta work these down underneath your cable for your bolsters. Not a big deal. And you don't even have to unplug your motor there. The other side I thought you did, but you just work it real gentle till you're down. And be careful. And there you go. That's what it takes to take your rear seat out. And then these guys, funny part is they talk about hog rings and all this, but they left you an opening on the side. And if you look in here, if you look in there, no, the foam's not disintegrating. That's the airbag. That's what's left? That's the airbag. Okay. It just falls apart. It just crumbles into crumbles. And yet the seat's in good shape. But I swear they make them out of stuff that looks like vinyl bags for IVs. Might have been organic rubber. I don't know, but anyway. Might have been organic. We're going to clean all that out, and then I'll show you the new airbags coming. So, these 2 airbags, I got off Amazon, $21 for both of them. They're actually airlift tools, but they work great for lumbar airbags. And I found after a lot of playing around with the other seat that you just lay them together, and then duct tape, just one on each side, or 2 on one side and 1 on the other. And then they slide right in. These guys, you just cut this hose to length and hook it up. So I'm going to go ahead and tape it without you having to watch me because it's not that big a deal. And then here's what the airbags look like after you tape them together. It's not biggie. I usually try to put the side without the hoses. Put these in the back by the foam. And then the nice thing about the Corvette is they make it sound like you got to undo hog rings and all kinds of stuff to get them in there, but you really don't. This was already open. This is the way it came. I cleaned this all out, got all the old airbag stuff out. And hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I don't know. Okay, so you just open this up and you work your airbag a little bit. And it really isn't that hard to get in there. I mean, you gotta kind of work it a little bit up at the top. It's a little bit tight, but not too bad. You just kind of take your time, hold it up there a little bit, work it a little bit, get your hand in there so you can slide it along. There we go. And there you go. And she slides right in. And takes up pretty much the exact same space as the triple airbag did. It's this one's just wide enough to reach all the way across, which is nice. And that's why I used them. And then the 2 hoses just stick out. And then you put them in there. You put it all back together, and just before you put it in there, you pick 2 hoses, hook them up, and put it all back together. And it works perfect after that. And we'll do all that and show the results. Okay, so she's back in. I've already tested them. They're working. This is not, the bottom clips are easy to put back in. This top clip's a little bit of work. You have to put the other one in. You have to get this started with the other clip. And these little clips are a little tricky, but not bad. You just get that one in. You look, peek back in there. I'm not going to show you exactly how to do that because it's a little hard to hold the camera and do this too. So you push that one in, and then when you're done, you just kind of put your thumb in here, grab this, and push it in until you feel it click. A little bit, it takes a couple tries, but it's not hard to do. Okay, so she's all back together. I'm just gonna hook this front clip because it's easier to do it this way. You just gotta get, it's easier to kind of put your hand up here, give the seat cushion a little push. Find the stupid little thing. Oh, there it is. You find it with your fingers. There we go. And you just pull it back over there, and that locks the front cushion down. Nothing to it. Airbags work fine. The only button that doesn't work is the middle one now. Upper and lowers work, but it gives you a nice rounded lumbar section. And those cost me about, I don't know, $23 a side. So pretty easy fix. And this is my 93 Corvette. I love this old car. Like my splash screen?